Howdy. We have a lot to unpack today, so let me get right to it. Bear with me, there's going to be a little bit of technical, but I will try to explain to the best of my ability. This is my 2011 Ford Transit Connect. I purchased it about 3 months ago for the kingly sum of about $2,700, and when I did, both Larry and I saw that it was throwing a P0302 error. What does that mean? Bear with me, I'm going to explain. And I will try to make this as user simple as possible. That means that cylinder 2 is misfiring. Somewhere in its sequence, it is not doing what it needs to do. Long story short, there are 7 possible fixes for a 302 error. Fix number 1 is to check and change the spark plugs. Did that, still throwing a 302. Fix number 2 is to check and change the coil packs. Coil packs are kind of sort of like the distributor cap. Checked and changed that. Still throwing a 302. Item number 3 is to check and change the coil cables that go to the coil packs. Checked and changed those. Still throwing a 302. Now we're into pricey categories where things get very expensive very quickly. What we did next is a compression test and a leak down test. To make a very long story short, it failed and it passed its compression test. Cylinders 1, 3, and 4 have 150 psi. Cylinder 2 has 60 psi. That's good and it's bad at the same time. The reason why it's good is because it wasn't going below and it wasn't going above. The reason why it's bad is because it should be 150 psi or around 150 psi, but that's not happening. So it kind of sort of passed and it failed. If it were a compression error, then that would be leaking into the other chambers, but that's not what's happening. So that leaves the last 3 items on the list, and this is where things get very pricey and very expensive. And so that we're clear about this, I'm not haranguing you for money. I'm telling you what's going on. All right, so item number 5 on this list is a leaky or broken valve. Item number 6 on the list is a hole in the cylinder, and item number 7 is a cracked head. We believe that it is a sort of a valve error, not necessarily that it's a broken or leaky valve. And the reason I say that is because of what I'm about to show you. Oh, wait, before I go any further, what's also included in that list of things that I just pointed out to you, what also deals with compression, is fuel injectors, that you need to clean your fuel injectors. Did that, still throwing the 302. All right, let's press on. What you're seeing right now is a little bit of inside video of what's happening inside of cylinder 2. You'll notice that it looks very black in there. It has a lot of carbon buildup versus what you're seeing right now, which is cylinder number 1, which is basically it's a clean chamber, which is what should be happening. So clearly there's something going on there that, you know, cylinder 2 is not doing what it needs to do. It's not firing the way that it needs to. And the reason that we think that it's not firing the way that it needs to is because of this tiny little thing that I'm about to show you. So I'll explain what all of this is in just a moment, but you see that little cylinder right there? Right there. That is called a tappet, and I don't know how to spell that, but I hope I got it. I hope that, you know, in post I got that right. That thing sits just above the valve, and that's basically what, you know, as the points go around, they point down into the tappet to close to tell the valve to close. I think I got that right. So we believe that the tappets are basically out of alignment and they need to be replaced. They're not doing what they need to be doing. They're not doing what they need to be doing. And it's not just cylinder 2 at this point. It's all of them. They're all wonky at this point. So let me just explain to you sort of what's going on so you can sort of see this. What you're looking at right now is the head of my vehicle. These 2 bars right here, that's known as the camshaft, and these things right here, these things right here, those are known as the points. And every time that a point comes around, it hits the tappet and forces the valve to close. That's what should. I think I got that right. I hope I got that right. And if I didn't get it right, don't beat me. I know Richard about cars. Sorry, Dick. The common solution here at this particular point is to replace the head, because the head will replace the camshaft, it will replace the points, it will replace the tappets, and it will also replace the valves. We believe that there is no failure inside of the cylinder, so replacing the head at this point is really the way to go. All right, so let me stop right here and explain something to you. I need to rewind the tape a little bit. When meaning I purchased the vehicle at Larry's say so. When I said to him, what would Larry do? Larry said, buy the car, we'll fix it. This is an easy fix. That was 3 months ago, and clearly we're not in easy fix territory. I want to be really clear about something. I don't blame Larry in any way, shape, or form. Without him, I'd be out on the street at this point going, huh? So I got nothing but the greatest respect and admiration for this guy, because he has gone way above and beyond the call of duty in any way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, truth be told, he feels so honor bound that he's actually donating a new head to make this vehicle run at no expense to me. So I got nothing but the greatest love and respect for this guy at this point. He's got props at this point. So yeah, there's that. So thank you very much, Larry. There's something else you should know at this point. My patrons on Patreon already know this, but now you're going to know it too. About 3 days ago, I basically was woken up to the rude awakening of having a check bounce and my notifications up from my bank telling me that I now have no money in my account. Basically, I'm broke. So in order for me to build out this vehicle at this point, that's not going to happen. At least not with money, non-existent money at this point. Again, not haranguing you for money, just pointing out what's going on. I basically, told my patrons on Patreon, I will come to a decision about what I'm going to do next. Because even if I fix this, what am I going to do? So my father always used to say to me, son, never make a decision on lack of sleep or food. Well, I've had plenty of sleep. I've had plenty of food, twice actually. And I've come down to the decision that I'm still going to keep doing this. I'm going to make this work somehow, some way, by hook or by crook. My goal is to get out on the road and start telling uplifting stories. And I want to go do that. And somehow, some way, I'm going to make that happen. I don't know how, because I'm out of money at this point. And again, I'm not begging you for money. It's not, I'm at the same time, I'm also, frustrated with how am I going to do this? Because I got no money. How am I going to make this happen? I'm not going to get into the long, tall weeds of who did what, when, where, and how, but let's just say that I have an angel benefactor at this point, and I'm going to end up having to vest title to my vehicle in order to make it happen. We'll see what happens with that. In the end, I'm going to hopefully leave here in about a month or so after I finish doing the build out. So let me just give you a quick rundown of what I'm going to do so that you can sort of see what I'm doing. And now I've already talked about this several times, but things have changed a little bit since then. So while Larry, let me back up just a little bit. First things first is we're going to change out the head, get the engine running and make it functional. Next, while that's happening, I'm going to start my build and basically make this a livable, workable space. First things first is I need to remove this and put in insulation and a subfloor and flooring on top of that. I need to add sound deadening and insulation here that will go all the way up, around, and down to the other side. And then add some kind of siding to make it somewhat pleasant. I'm going to take that out and add a battery box, a diesel fuel reservoir, as well as a water jug there. I'll run PEX under this to my kitchenette area, which I have yet to build yet. I will add a bedding space here, right there, and I'll add a little seating area right behind the driver's seat. That is my build and what I will be able to not afford. So that said, that is what is going to happen, and I will hopefully leave here last week of March, first week of April. My timetable for doing this stuff is completely shot at this point, mostly because of the head and because I'm out of money. So there you go. That is all that is fit to print. I just want to say a heartfelt thank you to these folks right here, because they have essentially made this process a little bit easier, and without them, I wouldn't be here. So there's that. One more thing, and this is more of a shout out, mostly just to one person, and that's to Larry Treen. I know I've said this before, that without Larry, I'd be out on the street. Well, he's essentially housing me at this point and making certain that I have food and a roof over my head. And more important than that, he's actually doing the work to install that head and helping me out. So I got nothing but the greatest respect for this guy. Props to Larry. So thank you very much to Larry Treen. I'm going to leave us right here. I know that's a lot to process. So if you can help out the channel, great. If you can't, I totally understand that. So likes, subs, gifts, cash, become a patron, whatever, it'll help out. It'll help out down the road. Thank you very much for listening, and I appreciate your time, your patience, and your patronage. And I look forward to seeing you somewhere down the road eventually. Yeah, that's going to happen. Bye.